One of the things that's going to determine your power when it comes to your magic and yourself as a magician is the truths you are aligned to. Because what I'm going to teach you that is so freaking cool, but also carries caution, is that you can take your own system and you can connect it to greater power grids than your own. I'm going to walk you through yourself as a technician. We're going to do an intuitive reading together on you as magicians. I'm going to show you your magical system. I'm going to walk you through your own personal power grids, which are fueled by archetypes. And then I'm going to show you, hey, how do power grids work outside of you, which also have power stations on them that are also archetypal forces. People don't realize, I don't care what you put on that vision board, you'll never be more powerful than a pattern, ever. Until you understand that pattern, do an anatomy or an autopsy perhaps on that pattern, and understand why your system has that pattern alive in many ways to help you survive an era of childhood or trauma that you needed that pattern for. And yet you're 40 and it's still doing the thing, doing the do. So vision board it all you want, but you're not going anywhere until you address what's going on with your system. The other thing that's also important to understand in magic is that magic is a mystical art. This is a child of mysticism. This isn't a child of the wounded ego's need to be enough. People think that more money hitting their system is going to solve all their problems, and I'm going to tell you, as lottery winners and the stats show, it won't at all. Any more resources you're given to your patterns take those resources and go bigger. So if I'm an adult child and I get millions of dollars from a lottery win, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy all my family members a home. I'm still in the family, adult, child archetypal space. So of course, I'm going to make sure I parent everybody with that money. And this is what happens to a lot of people who win lotteries. This is one possible manifestation. You get $5 million hitting your system. What does money give you? It gives you more choice. If I have $1 million and you have 5, imagine how many more choices I have than you. But next question comes in, what does your choosing for you? What chooses for you? Because when you get more money, whatever is choosing for you just gets to amp up. You'd like to think that if I had $1 million, I'd invest it. Your codependent's gonna go make everybody happy first, because that's what's true about your system. You don't suddenly birth a financial advisor out of thin air. The stats are 70% of people that win the lotteries lose all their money within 5 years. That is astounding and I think very interesting. So, something I want you to think about as power hits your system. If you do connect somehow to a different power grid, let's say a financial power grid, what are you really going to do? What do you think that's really going to do to you? I'll tell you what it's going to do. Any activated archetypal pattern just got some more juice. That's what's true. That's why oftentimes in the dark night of the ego, the universe holds back resources because it's got to let a pattern peter out before it sends you more resources, and oftentimes it will absolutely hit your money because the gods are going, we're taking choice away. You would choose with the old self, and you're the one that's freaking out, going into neutral now, yeah, that one. You would just scramble around, and that's the whole point. Your old self got you here. It's time that this be retired. The new one's coming in, and we'll give you a new bank account with that one because you will spend your resources differently with that in a way that is in alignment with your optimal potential. Do you guys just get that? That's really big. And it'll frame any financial dark night in a completely different way. You'll go, okay, well, what do I really do with money right now? The universe has got me in a vice, yeah, for your own protection. Because your dark side would come up and take that money and run amok. Magician archetype is very present in the field of life. It's always been, it's one of those fundamental archetypes that Jung would have said is in the collective unconscious. It's always been around. But as Jung identified, archetypes, as far as how we evolve through cycles of time on this planet, kind of will deactivate, activate more strongly over time in different cycles of time, activate again. So in this new era of us in 2019, living in our lives now on this planet at such an axial shift in time, the magician's back, full on. You see this in movies, Harry Potter, Gandalf, Lord of the Rings. You see these in the Netflix shows. You see this everywhere now. It's the Avengers, the Marvel comic books. Those are all magic. These X-Men that have special power and forces that they wield together. This myth is so active, it's ridiculous. But what I find interesting about it in this era is it's active in a projected way, not in an internalized, integrated way. That's why these movies do so well, and they keep pumping them out. And I'm on, what universe am I even in now with them? I can't keep track. So this big projection that we're going through the mythologies that are represented in movies, etc., to me is a symptom of a hunger for us to claim this power, take it back in ourselves, and understand it deeply. Every time you do create even a goal, you've just summoned a dark night. Because every goal is going to turn around and look at you and say, what in you has to shift so I can even come through and manifest into your life? You want a healthy, awesome, reciprocal relationship? Are you going to deal with your unrequited lover pattern yet? So that's the kind of voltage you start moving around. And if you're working consciously with these forces and saying, you know, with your magic board, saying, I want to create this in my life or that in my life, you're also saying, I'm also going to summon a dark night that's going to trigger in me a process psycho-spiritually, re-feng shui me somehow internally, so that can actually flow through into my life. So destiny is this. Your soul says, okay, there's fate. It's going to frame and set up my destiny. Some of it I can change in the fate. Some of it I can't. And we're going to get to how you know the difference. I'm going to help you with that. But then there's destiny, which is, I've got a soul contract to be an alchemist or magician here. I've also got a soul contract to work with what I call our Destiny Archetypes. Big part of this workshop. Destiny Archetypes are forces and patterns and grids of power that your soul has not worked with yet. You don't know these forces. You haven't created through these patterns yet. They're new. They're the unknown of your soul's journey. So the fate sets you into the destiny, and the destiny becomes, okay, I've got this pattern to work with, these energies, these forces. And for example, all of you have a destiny, or you wouldn't be here, to work with the magician. You may have never even thought of this archetype. By the end of it, you're all going to be wanting to go buy a Harry Potter wand. So I just want to name briefly here King and Queen and power with archetypes as a little sidebar, that it's really about how you see yourself. You really, and this is what's a really cool part of magic, you do have the power to set an energy, a tone. You have power. Own the power you have. This is on offer for all of you. But Destiny Archetypes, a lot of times what they're going to ask of you is, how are you going to relate to you? Such that then you can go out there and wield the power I'm here to teach you about. They'll always first go, how are you going to relate to me inside of you? Are you going to be a king or queen to you? Or are we still asking permission to be self-possessed and waiting for the world to give you that permission? Your destiny is always going to be bigger than the world's going to give you permission for. So get on with it. Stop waiting for permission to be powerful. Please. And every Destiny Archetype is going to say just that. So that's just level 1 of Destiny Archetypes. Level 2, which is what this is about, is you could consciously say, as you already have because you're here, I'm going to consciously go and activate the magician. I'm going to actually go and get initiated. You guys get it? And then you know what I'm going to get? I'm going to get a mystical technology, when appropriate, that I can use. In any situation in my life, I can look at that and go, what archetype do I need that is holistically and optimally powerful enough to work this situation from lead to gold? This diagram is everything. Everything, everything, everything. I downloaded this, I saw it. There's a difference between vertical manifestation and I want you to think of horizontal manifestation. The thing that I think is so exciting about this weekend for me, and that I think is exciting about being alive now, is that yes, we have fate, but you know, I've seen this thing developing in people and I have been obsessed about it. And I'm calling this, in your soul contract, your X factor space. So a lot of times people would ask me this question over the years, hey Robert, can we change our soul contracts? And it kind of, at first when I first had it asked, I think back in my early days, and I was very green into the field of helping people this way, and hadn't done a lot of readings yet and didn't really have the mapping I do now, I didn't really know how to answer that. I mean, the kind of visionary in me wanted to be like, of course you can, girl. Change that contract. But what's true is this. There really is this new emerging option in a soul contract to, yes, move beyond what your soul before you came here originally contracted for. But there are many caveats. And that moving beyond is magic. It is the magic of your contract. The X factor space is the magic of your contract. Potential is connected to X factor space. Because when we get into the magical zone of your soul contract, we're in a space where there's a big question around potential. Could it happen? Couldn't it? The gods don't even know. And this is new. This is a new emerging zone in people. And you guys are, I've never taught this before. This is the first time I'm teaching it this way. I'm teaching you about this zone.